So is this your first time doing porn, or?
Are you making a couch joke currently?
Yeah.
I knew getting this couch, with it just being as leather as it is, that there would probably be a lot of casting couch.
It
jokes.
is cum repellent, so.
Welcome to Being Present Today with my roommate and best friend, Cullan.
Hey, what's up? I realized I had to talk so the camera would be on me, or else you're just like, Cullan, and then it's just a static shot of you.
We have a name now. We have a name for the show and everything.
Was it Being Present Today?
Being Present Today.
It sounds like an NPR special.
I thought it sounded like something that you might watch on like morning CBS or something that.
It sounds like fucking what's the name of the like TV that anyone could do from their basement? Public access?
Public access.
It sounds like a public access TV show.
That's basically what Twitch is.
Yeah,
anyway,
pretty much.
Though, right?
It sounds like an interview show that fucking Dr. Brule would host.
Dr. Steve Brule.
Welcome to Being Present Today.
It does. It
I
very.
don't know how to do a Steve Brule impression.
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
Talk with people of different cultures.
To talk to your roommate.
Being present. Being present today. It sounds. You know what it is? It sounds like a mindfulness and crystal healing podcast.
It kind of is.
A crystal healing podcast.
I'm healing. I'm healing right now. I see this as a healing experience.
Are you charging your crystals?
I'm charging in one way or another. There are ways that I'm charging up, that I'm getting ready, that I'm getting excited.
Getting ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have some quartz in my butt right now. That's getting there.
Some quartz of all the crystals.
Yeah.
To store in your butt.
Well, you can't put amethyst in your butt.
That's true, because it's sharp, right?
It's
well, but all crystals.
It's just amethyst isn't. It has energy, but it's not rectal energy.
Oh, I would think like there's something about it being purple that gives me a little bit of like a rectal energy. I don't know if I totally agree with that. I mean, I amethysts are like tiny crystals. That's where I see it as like not a butthole crystal. You know?
Every crystal is a tiny crystal if it's a small one.
Well, but like, I don't know, quartz typically I think has a tendency to like grow into like a bigger crystal. It's like a bigger crystal formation.
I think amethyst can be pretty big as well. I think it's just I think it's that it then gets cut and polished.
I just learned that snakes could be like fucking giant last night.
Because we were watching a meme video and there was a giant anaconda.
Yeah. Anaconda.
Anaconda. Anaconda.
You should meet my friend. Her name is Anaconda. Speaking of friendship and just the overall relationship that we share and sharing relationships with people in general.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a forced segue.
Okay. You kept looking at me like it was I was supposed to pick up on the segue, and I was like, I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know where you're going with this, guy. I don't know. This is your show. I don't have anything to do with this. Cullan, what do you value in a person? What do you value? What is your number one
fashion taste?
Number one valued trait in an individual.
Fashion taste.
Fashion taste.
Mm-hmm.
You must have hated me until recently. I just became decent.
Yeah. I'd probably say morals.
Morals?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of almost why I wanted to frame this question towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Is because you are one of the you have the strongest morals, I think, out of any person.
Yeah. Which is crazy because I'm not a good person.
I think you're all right. You say things with so much confidence that I know that you're right most of the time. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think you have a very strong moral foundation, and you know, that can be a helpful thing for someone like me,
who's flimsy
and wish-washy And well, no, I
and
think
would throw really any group of people under the bus to make a quick buck.
Twitch streamer.
There's such an interesting level of the fact that we're live on Twitch but cannot see chat. So it is genuinely a mystery. It could be like 2 people. I don't know if it's
they're
I don't
like,
know if
"What are
it's
they talking
I don't know
about?"
if it's worse if it's a super small amount of people or a really big amount of people.
It's an interesting show, but I thought like, it's the sort of thing where I don't know, being live on Twitch
It's kind of like
is like
fighting in World War II.
it's fighting in World War II. Could you
Yeah.
explain that? Could you explain that perspective?
Takes a lot of bravery,
Okay.
putting your life on the line.
Okay. Well,
You have to avoid Nazis.
true. That is true about Twitch.
Mm.
Are you really putting your life on the line? I don't know if you are.
I mean, it's just so hard to play all those video games.
I'm going. So I made some cards for you.
I know. I didn't read them, but I saw them earlier, and then you went, "Don't read them," and then I didn't. Oh,
I didn't want you.
I
They're
forgot my.
secret.
Can I get my water real quick?
You
forgot
could
my
go
water.
get your
Okay.
You could go get your water bottle. What are you bringing? What are you bringing into? What is that? Did you boil rainwater or like what? Why?
No, it's just water. It's just we didn't have a lot of big cups, but I knew we were going to be here for a while, so I wanted a lot of water. Sorry, 1 second. Let me get the ASMR.
So we're gonna play a little game, Cullan.
Yeah.
And this little game is it's a first impressions game. So this is a quality. Every single one of these cards has a quality of a person that you're meeting for the very first time.
She's a 10, but
She's a 10 but blank, so I want you to tell me if it's a red flag or not. If
Got
you get
it.
a red flag, how you feel about this person, how you feel about meeting a person like this, and this is their first impression.
Got it.
Is this a person you want to get to know? Tell me whatever. And we're gonna start out kind of simple with it. They're drunk. So you meet them, they smell of alcohol, they're swaying around, they're obviously drunk.
I mean that one really depends on sort of context, doesn't it? Because if I'm meeting them at 9 p.m. at a bar, I mean, I think if I'm meeting anyone and they're shit-faced, that's probably going to be a little bit of a detriment, but I'm not really going to hold it that much against them. But if it's like 3 p.m., then I'm going to be like, Jesus.
Let's see if you have a double standard. They're high.
No.
They're high. There's no red flag.
No, it depends on A, how high, B, where we are, 3 times. A, B, 3.
A, B, 3. How high they are.
I'm sober.
You meet someone and they're not looking you in the eye.
I mean, I wouldn't notice because I wouldn't be looking at them in the eye.
They're wearing a Razer headset.
Just in light. What am I like? Am I at a club?
You're talking to them and just on, maybe at like a restaurant or something. And they're like a mutual friend of someone you know. And you're talking to them the whole time and they're nodding along, like they're listening to you, but they're just kind of wearing a Razer headset.
I would probably be like, I'd be like, hey, if you don't mind me asking, what's up with the headset? I'd probably just straight up ask them and then form how I feel based off that.
You would,
because once again,
confront them.
Yeah, well, because once again, some people have auditory stuff. So
how long do you think it would be before you ask them about the headset? Do you think it would be high? Why are you wearing a headset? Or like,
I think it'd be like the preliminary, like, hi, nice to meet. Like it'd be like after like the first sort of intro to the conversation, I'd be like, I hope like if you don't want to answer, whatever, that's fine. Is it okay if I ask about like why you're wearing the headset? And then they'd be like, if they were like, oh, I just have auditory stuff, I'd be like, okay.
What if they didn't? They're like, I'm wearing a headset.
Then I'd probably laugh really hard, and then they wouldn't laugh, and then I feel really weird.
All right, so you meet someone, and they're smoking a cigar.
Cigar. Once again, the context. If I'm at an HEB, I'm gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" If they're like an Italian person in a full suit, I'm gonna be like, "Fuck yeah."
If they're an Italian, what if they're like a walking stereotype?
Yeah, they're like,
you're like,
forget
oh
about it."
yeah, this is the stuff, man.
Forget about it.
They are in an HEB just shopping, but they're also in the full Italian getup with like a suit and tie, and they're smoking a cigar.
I think that would make my day. I'd be like, you're for sure gonna get kicked out, but this is awesome.
What if they're like, it seems like we have a lot in common. Maybe we
We do?
maybe,
Like what?
yeah. Let's role play this conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, I like what you're wearing right now.
Oh, thanks.
Do you like video games?
Yeah. Yeah, somewhat. Haven't had as much time to play them as recently, but yeah.
Oh, what kind of video game? What kind of video
Can you
games
smoke that in
do
here?
you like? Hey, forget about it.
I do think it's illegal. It's quite I like it, but it is illegal.
Forget about it.
Fair enough.
Seems like we have a lot in common. What's
'Cause
your phone number?
I would give them my phone number. I would do that just because I'd be like, I need to know where this goes.
I am going to follow this plot thread.
It's-
Wherever I am going, I'm okay with it.
I've done that before. I've been on dates where I've ended up helping a meth dealer move out of their house.
Oh, you should tell that story.
The meth dealers? Okay,
You
just
tell
right.
the story.
On Tinder, matched with two girls, sent sort of flirty messages to them both. Learned that they were both best friends. So we had like a little funny thing where like one of them was like, "Oh, how come you said you were gonna cuddle with her but not me?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, girl. You know." One of them had a boyfriend, so that was weird anyway. So anyway, I end up they're like, "Hey, we should hang out." And I was like, "Okay, sure." So I went over to one of their houses. And I opened the door and they opened the door and they're both there. And the one that has a boyfriend is being like, they're like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you, but I have to go real quick. Hopefully I'll be back in a bit and we can hang out." And I was like, "Oh, okay, everything okay?" And they said, "Well, no, my boyfriend got evicted, so I gotta go help him move." And I was like, "Oh shit, okay." And so they leave it, and so I head inside with the other girl and we just sort of talk. And I was like, "Oh, I hope everything's okay with her boyfriend." She goes, "Yeah, it's a whole thing. He got evicted because his roommate is a meth dealer." And I was like, "Sorry?" And she's like, "Yeah, and she's like, "He's not like a bad guy, but he's like a meth dealer and a meth addict." And I was like, "Okay." And she's like, "Yeah, and he got evicted. They got evicted by a SWAT team, so all their stuff is on the lawn right now." And I was like, "Why did they get evicted by a SWAT team?" And she was like, "Oh, it's not because of the meth. It's because the meth dealer's brother borrowed or took the girl's boyfriend's gun from him without asking and put it in his backpack because he wanted to go shoot up a theater, but he got stopped by the police beforehand. And so then, of course, the boyfriend was involved in the case."
Red flag.
Yeah. And so anyway, then the person who was renting to the meth dealer and also this girl's boyfriend was like, "I want them out." And so contacted the SWAT team. They got evicted by a SWAT team. And then we got a call from the girl and she was like, "Hey, all this stuff is on lawn. Can you come help us move it?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure." So we went and it was just a giant pile of just garbage on the lawn.
And you moved garbage?
Kind of.
Oh,
We got there
okay.
and like there was like a small pile of like actually important stuff. It was like a mattress and some other shit. And then in the back, I think they cleaned out the garage and that was a bunch of shit. And there was like a bunch of like road signs in there and like tires and things like that.
Did they like steal them or
Probably.
something? Or okay.
And so then the boyfriend was there. And so I met him and he sort of like grabbed some of his shit. And then the meth dealer showed up in his truck. And he sort of like, he grabbed a few things he needed and then he pointed to like the big pile and he's like, "You guys just grab whatever the fuck you want out of that." And so like the two girls started going through shit and grabbing like road signs and stuff. They're like, "Oh, this is funny. I'll grab this road sign." And they're like, "Do you want it?" And I was like, "That is there's a good chance those are all connected to a crime. I'm not touching them." And then
I'm not getting my fingerprints on that. That's evidence
Yeah.
right there. Yeah.
And then the boyfriend and the meth dealer like grabbed a tire or two out of the pile and they're like, "Oh, we can go put this on our truck and do some fucking donuts in a parking lot." And I was like, "Okay." And then he's like, "All right, we're out." And then they got in the truck. And then he goes, hey guys, watch this. And there was like a pile of shit right next to the road with like a mattress and stuff. And then he just goes and fucking barrels over it in his truck and then drives off. And then
Wait, he leaves after that?
Yeah.
He says, watch this.
he says, watch this, drives over the pile of shit and crushes it with the truck and then leaves. Also, I forgot to mention, I think I had on my profile that I was bisexual. And so like as he was pulling up, they're like, oh, this is him. And then the girl I was there on like a pseudo date with leaned over. She's like, by the way, you shouldn't mention that you're bisexual around him. And I was like, what's going on?
Why are you friends with this person?
Why are you like a fucking 19-year-old girl friends with this 30-year-old homophobic meth dealer?
It's
I did go.
choose one, meth dealer, homophobe,
Yeah,
like,
I
make
did go on a
decision,
second date.
I think. You did?
Mm-hmm.
How was that?
It was fine.
Was it just normal?
Yeah.
You went to the like fucking Olive Garden or some shit?
We did go to a Noodles and Company after the meth dealer left.
Where did you go on a with both of the girls or like just one of them?
We went to the Noodles and Company because that was the same day. We went to the Noodles Company, all three of us, and then the second date I went with just the one that didn't have a boyfriend.
Oh, okay. They have a drawn-on mustache on their face.
I mean, that was just kind of you for a while.
Oh, man. Yeah. They're wearing a hentai t-shirt.
Ooh, that's rough. What do we mean by hentai? Do we mean like it's an anime girl with her yitties out a little bit, or do we mean like it's the ahegao all over a t-shirt?
Ahegao collage. You know the shirt.
I know the shirt because our friend owns it. Yeah, because that's the thing is that because Aphex has like a bunch of shirts that are like maybe tasteful isn't the right word, but it's like neon, very cool design, and then there's usually an anime girl with big boobies there. But they're like made by I think Jessica Nigri's boyfriend, his company, and so it's a legitimate piece of clothing. The ahegao shirt it's a thing where like there's only one person in my life I know who's worn it, and that's Austin. And I love him to death, and I've
But
known,
I can't stand
well,
him.
I've known him for 6 years, so I'm at a certain point I have to accept him for his flaws. A new person, I don't really have to accept them for their flaws.
I don't have to be that person's friend.
No,
Are you saying that you wouldn't be Austin's friend if you met him for the first time?
if he was wearing that, probably not. Genuinely.
But the drawn-on mustache is fine. The cigar and the HEB. That's,
Yeah, because those are
Yeah.
just like kind of funny and weird. Where the ahegao thing is like,
You're trying to be funny, I think.
yeah, and
almost.
it's just so like overtly sexual in such a public setting where it's like stop, and then it's also like gross, and also like the thing with that is that like on those shirts like half of them are children.
Oh, yeah. This is one Zoe put in. They insist that they know everything unironically.
That's me.
Would you be friends with yourself?
No.
Oh, you said that with so much passion.
Fuck no.
Oh,
I'm one of my
man.
least favorite people.
Oh, no.
Someone has to do it.
They have a face tattoo.
Depends on the tattoo.
Let's say it's like
Because if it's a teardrop, I'll probably keep my distance.
because they killed someone.
Yeah.
Right? You meet them, and they're totally normal.
I thought it just, you meet them. Red flag?
A person,
A human.
a human being.
Not for me.
No, they're a totally normal human being, but their hands are painted green. The whole hands are green.
I probably. I mean, I don't know. I'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, what's up with the hands?
What if they said, "Oh, I had an accident."
I'd be like, what happened? I would look for an answer.
I don't feel comfortable talking about it.
I'd be like, okay.
Every 20 minutes they do a front flip.
I've known people like that.
You've known people that
There was-
have to do a front
No,
flip
but there was a kid.
every 20 minutes.
There was a kid in my class in high school who was a gymnast and like into parkour and stuff. I think it was mostly I don't know if he was a gymnast. He was like big into parkour, and he was pretty good at it. And he could just like do a flip kind of whenever. And so like at any opportunity, he would just do a flip. And it was kind of the thing of like it was the thing of like it was.
Did he ever get in trouble for it?
No, because the thing was like it's kind of a thing of like, all right, you're showing off, but every time it's like that's cool, he can do a flip, and then B, just other than that, the guy was just a really nice guy.
Oh, okay.
and everyone liked him. So every time he did it, everyone was like, "Woo,
good job.
yeah."
I think that you're a very forgiving person in that mind, because I would get annoyed with it every 20 minutes.
Every
Trying to
20
have a conversation.
Every 20 minutes would be a bit much. I mean, after the first one, I'd be like, "Cool," and then after the second one, I'd be like, "What's going on?"
How many front flips in would it take for you to just walk away out of the conversation?
I think at the second one, I would just be like, "What's happening?"
I mean, for me, like, if it were backflips, I would have a different opinion.
Yeah, but they're doing pussy front flips. When I was a kid, I uploaded a YouTube video that
I
was
know, I saw it.
just me doing a bunch of different trampoline tricks. And it's great because it's edited with iMovie, so it has those like little like pink and blue clouds that pop up saying like Cullan doing trampoline tricks, and then it like pops up and says the names of like the tricks. And on one of them, I said, "This is an aerial," and then what I did was I jumped and I did a cartwheel in the air without touching the ground, and then landed. And then some random person commented, and they were like, "That's not an aerial." And then my mom was like, "You fucking idiot! The textbook definition of an aerial is this," and like posts the definition and is like, "And that is exactly what the boy did. You fool! You fucking cretin! Do not comment on this page again."
Were you embarrassed by that? Were
No,
you
I was like, "Thank you,
mortified?
Mom."
I would be mortified. I would be like, "Mom,
No, I thought
Mom, don't argue with the internet stranger that's insulting me."
no, I thought it was funny. Because I don't think I
man.
noticed my mom said
Yeah.
that until like years later. So I saw it and I was like, "That's funny." You want some Cullan lore that's never been unlocked before?
Oh, okay.
One of my first videos I ever posted on that same account that had that. I cannot remember any details of it. I just know that it was like it was a video where I just like had the camera in one hand, and then the other one I still have them. I had these like little like Pokemon toys that were just, like Gen 4 Pokemon, but in like little toy forms.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just me like moving them around and making them talk, shit kids would do. But I filmed it. Cannot remember anything. I know, what's the little one that like kind of looks like a tree? It's like Hershey Kiss shaped.
Sudowoodo?
The prior.
Bonsley.
Bonsley. I know Bonsley was in it. I know Bonsley was the main character. That's
He's
all.
the main
That's
character.
all I can remember. And I remember it got like at least like 4,000 views or something like that.
4,000
It
people.
got like a lot of views for me being a child and for the like when it was uploaded in YouTube. Like that was like a lot of views on YouTube. And I remember I think I just fully deleted it because I was a child, and like people would be like, "Haha, look at this little silly child." I don't remember when I deleted it, but I know it got deleted and I'm sad.
I would kind of do things similar to that, but I would do it with my DSI. I would take like photos and I would
stop motion.
try to do stop motion. And so I had like an action figure of Danny Phantom.
I did also do like a stop motion and upload that.
Yeah, those are fun.
Mhm.
I did like an action figure of Danny Phantom, like slowly turning and like punching like a green army man in the face and
That's
everything.
sick.
It was pretty awesome.
There's this YouTube channel I follow that I adore. They don't post very often, but every time they post like usually a 4 to 8 minute long video where they have 2 Pokemon plushies, a Lucario plushie, and a Braixen plushie. And the whole video is they just like put them in a hugging formation, and then they just with one hand kind of like slightly shake whichever one's head is talking, and they voice them both. And it's just like they just make them do like pillow talk for like 4 to 8 minutes. Like not like sexy pillow talk, but they're like, "Oh, I love you, Lucario. I love you, Braixen," for like 4 minutes straight, and nothing of substance is ever said. It's just kind of and it's like all like kind of mumbled, and they're just like, it's my favorite. There's like 200 videos on this channel.
And it's all that?
Yeah.
Is it all the same plushies?
Yeah, they have a few others that I
Okay.
think they break out a few, but their main bread and butter is Braixen and Lucario. I'll show you some after this.
So there's no plot?
There's like it's very much like these two are in love. And it's funny because it's funny just because the whole thing is like they're just like in this hugging formation. So they're just like talking like it feels like watching a couple in the honeymoon phase, but it's just one person doing both of these voices.
Maybe after the failure that was Doolittle, Robert Downey Jr. Just posts Braixen fan cams
Yeah, with his green hands.
with his green hands all over his keyboard. It's green paint.
Green paint on the 2 little plushies as he makes them hug.
Every morning he dumps his hands in 2 buckets of green paint.
Robert, You are not taking the Doolittle thing well, are you?
No.
Shut up. Bring me my plushies. 2 new clean plushies.
I love you.
The other one's got green paint on them. I don't know how.
every day he buys a new set of plushies.
A new Lucario plushie and a new Braixen plushie.
You want to get back to it?
Sure.
You meet someone
Yep.
and they try to cover up their fart with a cough. And it's like almost mistimed. It's
This is like right when I meet them.
like, they're like, oh, hey, it's nice to meet you. And then fart, yeah.
I'd laugh. I'd be like,
I like the idea of like this all being the same person. It's fucking...
they're a sociopath.
It's a sociopath. This is all one interaction that you're having with an individual.
It's an Italian man wearing a morph suit under a suit, smoking a cigar, and the hands of the morph suit are dipped in green paint.
And the the button up part of the suit is an Ahego shirt.
And they're wearing like khakis, and they're fucking got a piss stain right in the middle.
Giant piss stain.
I mean, at that point, I would be like, so this is like a YouTube prank, right?
And they're drunk and high.
I'd be like, you gotta go somewhere.
This is a Zoe submitted answer.
Mm-hmm.
They call you their small bean.
Oh, I've told you that kind of language is why I had to block Leo's Twitter account.
You have my dog's Twitter account blocked?
I blocked it the second it was made. One tweet was made, it popped up on my Twitter, and I blocked it. And this is not a joke.
You don't like the way that Zoe runs Leo's Twitter account?
I love my mommy. I'm a little pupper, and I love my mommy. No, if someone called me their small bean, I would not talk to them anymore.
I love one of my favorite Leo account tweets are there's a party and I'm the main event. Smiley face. I like that one.
I wouldn't know. I've had it blocked. Do I have it
so
blocked or
fucked.
muted? It's one of them.
That's so fucked.
What is the at?
It's funnier if you have it blocked. It's at Leo Pyrenees. If you want to follow my dog's Twitter account. It's blocked. You actually blocked him.
It's thundering.
Certainly is.
Wow.
They're wearing jorts.
Cut off where?
Cut off here.
I respect it more the shorter it is.
Cut off here.
Then I'd be like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Cut off like below.
Like a capri, like a real Jinko jean cut, like a real fucking Adam Sandberg cut.
Yeah.
I probably think it's funny.
You think it's funny?
And I think it would also depend on the footwear.
Show me on your leg where the yes, no, back to yes zone is.
I think if your shorts, there's like a hot spot for fashionable in shorts that's kind of like the 5-inch inseam. Shorts like kind of here and down lose their fashion, for sure. Like from here down, your short is kind of unfashionable, like mid thigh.
Okay, all right.
Sorry to all
Mid-thigh.
the Puritans out there that love shorts.
Someone's sitting there in their jorts. Like,
Someone sitting there in their cut off Jinko jeans, like, oh man,
oh jeez.
I'm sorry.
God.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Bardic. Just had to choose a random.
Fucking random viewer. Damn, Bardic, you hear that? You're done.
You and your Jinko jeans are done.
You're fucking out of here. You'll never work in this town again, Bardic.
The funny part, the tiny possibility that they're wearing jorts, they're like, what the fuck?
Oh, what's wrong with these?
They're also like, how'd they know?
How'd they know? How'd they
The
know I'm
fuck?
doing that? Oh, that Bardic specifically is wearing shorts.
Yeah. What the fuck?
What the fuck? Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
joining me on the show. I
Inner
hope you
peace
had
with
fun.
Zach.
Inner peace with Zach.
What is it? Placeful mindfulness.
That's the new name of the show.
Inner peace.
Inner peace.
Finding one's true self throughout inner turmoil.
Finding one's true self through Reddit.
Stop by next week. We'll have Zoe on the show. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but it'll probably be something pretty goofy.